Почитувани гледачи, следува вториот дел од репортажите на нашата програма, посветени на македонците во Невада и Калифорнија во Америка. Денес ќе го видите вториот дел од репортажата во Лос Анџелес, Калифорнија, со почесниот генерален конзул на Македонија во овој град, Андрю Пейкоф. Ние би сакале да им се заблагодариме на компанијата AAA Cheese и Коста Стендвик, Златко Николов со Голди General Construction, докторите Дејана, Благој и Љубинка Кожовски од Кожовски Dentistry Clinics, Анджело Аргиро, председател на канадско-македонскиот ресторан Co-op, Том Богоевски и Владе Димитриевски за нивната несебична подршка за снимањето на овие репортажи.
Have you used some of your expertise in the business world, which you have a lot of, to assist Macedonia perhaps with some advice in improving their business situation?
I have spoken to the college students on numerous occasions in both Skopje and in Štip. It's challenging in Macedonia because it's only been 23 years since Macedonia's been away from communism, and all the professors are communist. Now they're just starting to get some that are not communist. So if you get a business degree in Macedonia, it might be the same test questions as what you have in the US, but you don't learn it the same way. So you learn communist business, which is kind of an oxymoron. And there's so much of this in Macedonia where the people wait for somebody to give it to them instead of rolling up their sleeves and making it happen. The indoctrination, communism is terrible. It's so easy to fall into it and so hard to get out of it.
So was that your major bit of advice, that people need to work hard and and
I don't think
become
Macedonians,
entrepreneurs?
yeah, they're not afraid of working hard. They've just been mentally conditioned that if you're going to go into a business, there's not supposed to be risk. It's supposed to be something where it's funded by the government and then you're willing to do the work, but no risk. Well, that's not capitalism. That's communism. Okay? Now, on our trip that we're planning around about October 1st, our plan is to go there with several young people from America, because when I speak to them, there's a major generation gap. There's 2 generations gap. You know, I'm in my 70s and they're in roughly 20, let's say. But this time I'm going to bring 4 of my sons. So now we've got anywhere from, my sons run, the ones that are coming are between 35 and 45 years old. And we're going to bring another young man that's a very strong Jesus fella, and he's 35. And he also writes a lot of original music. And I think when these young people get in front of Macedonian college students, that it's going to be a different experience. And hopefully some light bulbs will turn on in the young Macedonians' minds and say, wow. I think they'll be able to reach them a lot better than I can, and I'm kind of excited about this. So we'll see what happens.
How about the interworkings between you and the other honorary consuls? How does that all work? And with the government, do you meet with the government regularly, or with the ambassador in Washington? How does that all take place?
It's fairly infrequent. It's not nearly as structured as what you might think. But the function is primarily honorary. However, we do come across requests for people that need help with this, with one thing or another, usually passport related, that type of thing, or how do I get to vote in Macedonia? And so sometimes we can help with those type of things, but it's not like it's an everyday job. First of all, there's not that many Macedonians in Southern California. Now, in some other U.S. cities where there's plenty of Macedonians, I think it would be probably a lot more workload.
Maybe like Detroit or New Jersey,
Sure.
Other towns.
Gary, and of course in Toronto where there's what, 200,000 Macedonians?
A lot of Macedonians.
Yeah.
A lot of Macedonians.
Yeah, that's the 3rd largest Macedonian city probably.
We have a lot of Macedonians from all parts of Macedonia, and we all try to work together and do our best. When it comes to your Macedonian heritage, I know you've read a lot, you're a student of Macedonian history, you've read a lot about our Macedonian history.
Yes.
From the time of Alexander the Great and up until recent times. And Macedonians have survived a long time, haven't they?
Well, Macedonia was the first country in Europe from about 800 BC. That's about 500 years before Alexander. Macedonia had the first national currency, the Macedonian coins. Philip used the national currency to pay for a standing army. And everyone else had citizen armies. So the Macedonians had a professional army, which that coupled with the phalanx, their version of a tank, once they had that combination, they never lost a battle. But that was then. And Macedonian Empire has just fallen to where now it's a survival issue.
But now we're trying to survive, and Macedonia now is an independent country. We have an independent state. What is your view of the future economically of Macedonia? Is it a feasible country economically as far as standard of living is concerned of the citizens, and how can it improve?
The answer is yes. I do think it's feasible. I think it's sustainable. The numbers show that Macedonia is having a healthy growth rate, better than the countries around it. It's a surprisingly good growth rate. Again, a lot thanks to the policies of the government, Prime Minister Gruevski and President Ivanov. They're really doing a good job, and so are the members of parliament. All these things are positive. The tax rates in Macedonia are very low.
There's a flat tax of 10%.
That's the maximum tax, is 10%. If you're in a free enterprise zone, it's 0 for 10 years. Plus, the government pays all or a portion of the employment taxes. Very favorable terms. And ease of doing business is constantly improving. And Macedonia's got a decent location. It's fairly geographically,
yeah,
sure.
It's a great location.
There's reachable markets of Macedonia's a small country, 2 million people, but certainly Greece is reachable, Bulgaria, Istanbul, Turkey, Tirana, the various Belgrade, Bucharest, the other one that starts with a B, Budapest, Sofia. They're all reachable. So there's a large market there, and Macedonia's got a lot of opportunity. The thing that needs to happen, in my view, is that the Macedonians in Macedonia need to see the opportunities around them and start taking advantage of them. Now, there are some successful Macedonian entrepreneurs, but the majority of young Macedonians are not yet thinking entrepreneurially. Long word.
Ethnic Macedonians live in Greece, Bulgaria, Albania, Serbia, Kosovo, and throughout the world. And what we try to do with our show in Canada is it's like a bond for Macedonians and our friends who are not Macedonian to learn a little bit about our heritage. At the end of today's interview, do you have a message for Canadian Macedonians and our friends?
Yes, get active. Help our Macedonian people in Macedonia. Go visit. Talk to young Macedonians. Explain to them how capitalism really works and how there's opportunities to see the opportunities. Don't just walk by them, but there's plenty of opportunity in Macedonia, and they're not being taken advantage of. It's just something's got to click in the mindset for it to happen. Now there's continual progress, and maybe it just takes time. Okay, again, getting back to all the damage that communism does. So everybody, we Americans and Canadians, we got to respect that, the dangers of communism. Don't let our countries fall into that creeping socialism. We need to really be aware of the dangers.
Well, thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your insightful words. And počituvani gledajući, to беше razgovorот со počesniот konzul na Makedonija ovde во Kalifornija, Andrew Peykoff. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.